Hello and welcome everybody to Flicker Effect episode 388. We are recording and broadcasting live on Monday, December 13th, 2021. Joining me as always is Bobby Jackson. How's it going, Bobby?
It's going really good now that you're back in the driver's seat. So thank you very much for that.
Oh, you didn't have a good time last week? What happened?
No, it was good. But you know, when you're around, there's production elements and there's all kinds of other good stuff going on. So I feel like we're in good hands again.
Oh, well, thank you. But I appreciate you taking over last week. I couldn't make it, but I'm back this week.
No worries.
So also with us is Jascha Wilson.
How's it going, hey, everybody. Yes, I will echo Bobby's sentiment as to have you back in the driver's seat. I mean, how else are we going to get that fucking radical intro music that just felt like the beat was ready to drop and just felt like it's like, oh, here we go. Here we go.
I wanted you to feel some energy and excitement since you are missing a football game to be here with us.
This is true. Yeah. I do have it on. It is on mute.
So when we see you looking to the side, we know what's going on.
I am facing the computer though, but if I start to do this to maybe check out the score, please don't hold me.
No, dude,
hold it against me at all.
I totally get it. But yeah, welcome guys. How's it going? I would say a lot to talk about. I don't know, actually. I kind of don't have an agenda other than I saw one movie this week, and I just watched the trailer. But other than that, like, I'm just gonna kind of wing it tonight. But yeah, we could start with that. Have we all seen West Side Story or no?
Nope, I have not.
Neither of you guys. Only I have.
Yeah. I haven't seen a movie in the theater in a while.
Oh, really? When's the last time you saw a movie in the theater?
I want to say maybe sometime before Thanksgiving.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's been a little while.
Is it like health reasons, like COVID, or is it just nothing that's like piqued your interest? Or
on very much the opposite of that. There's a ton of things I feel like they're in the theater I want to watch. It's just I haven't had a chance. Yeah. My weekends have been a little bit busy, so I haven't had a chance to have the time to go in and see something. And I don't have time during the week to go in and be able to sit down after work to go watch a movie. So yeah, they're just kind of piling up on me, and it makes me a little bit nervous. I'm not used to that, so it feels weird to have these movies that keep piling up that I haven't had a chance to see that I really want to see. So I'm hoping that coming soon, when I have my break from work, that I can just be able to take that time and just watch a whole bunch of movies, because I really want to see some of the ones that are out right now and coming out soon.
Yeah, I feel that. Like, I don't know about you guys, but for whatever reason, my December feels busier than it has been in the past, at least a couple years or so. Like work is very busy right now, just, doing things with the kids because of the holidays, and it's just busy. So, I mean, yeah, I made it out to see West Side Story because I and Michelle really wanted to see it, but I'm already feeling that itch of like, okay, we're getting close to the end of the year. I want to start watching a bunch of movies I missed throughout the year. And I've kind of even got a list, at least mentally at this point, going of a bunch of movies I want to watch. And same thing, I'm hoping when I have some time off next week, right before Christmas, I'm going to be able to kind of have some time at home to watch some of them. So hopefully that happens soon.
Yeah, I think that the only movie I know for certain that I'm seeing is Spider-Man that's coming out this week. So that's like definite.
Speaking of that, man, I got screwed on that. I mean, I say that I have not reached out to AMC yet on Spider-Man. I think I mentioned on the last episode I was on with you, Bobby, like at the time I had tickets to 2 showings.
Yep.
I had a ticket for a regular showing Friday night, and we got tickets to an IMAX showing Saturday night. And we, it was like, okay, do we want to wait to see it Saturday or, do both or what? I mean, I can't really do both because I don't have the time. But I was leaning toward, okay, I want to see it in IMAX. I'll just see the Saturday showing. I can wait. And then next thing I know, I log into my AMC app, and that IMAX ticket for both of us, Michelle and I, it's gone. Like,
oh wow.
And I mean, we both have the emails from AMC, like confirming the showing and everything, but they're no longer in the app. And at first I was like, oh, is this like a weird glitch? It'll come back tomorrow. I mean, at this point it's been over a week, and no, it's just gone.
So, are you gonna reach out to them?
I've been meaning to. It goes back to me being so busy. I just haven't done it, but I've been meaning to probably call them and be like, hey, I've got an email saying I had a ticket. Like, why did I lose my ticket? I mean, as soon as I noticed it, I went and I checked that showing to see if those seats were still like occupied, and they were either by me or by somebody else. I don't know. So yeah, at this point, I guess I'm seeing it in the regular showing Saturday or Friday night. So that's my plan.
The same thing happened to me. I had 2 tickets, 2 separate sets of tickets, and my first one that I had that was for the AMC over in Tustin. I didn't even notice this until today, honestly. I don't know what made me look, but I went through my email and I saw a follow-up email. I don't even know when they sent it. I forgot to look at the date, but it said that there was some mistake that happened or something happened, and so I need to go log back in to get the ticket again, or to try and book the seat. So I lost that one, which is fine. That just jogged my memory of why I went back in there today, is because I was going to cancel that one, because I already had the other 2 that I was going to use that for that day instead of the one for Tustin. So I was going to go in there and cancel it, and lo and behold, it was already not available. It was gone. So I don't even know. I have to look into it a little bit more. I don't know if it charged me for it and still kicked me out of it, or if it never charged. But yeah, I have to dig into it a little bit more. So I at least still have the other 2 that are still in the Dolby and on the same day of the movie opening on Wednesday or on Thursday at 3:00. So at least I have that. But yeah, it was weird that the same sort of thing happened where I don't know. It was after the fact, because I had already had the ticket sent to my email and it was with the barcode. So It was like everything was good. So I don't know how that happened, but sure enough, yeah, I told me that I needed to go back in and get another ticket. So we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. Like, part of me was like, is this some weird, hey, it's too popular, you can't have tickets to 2 showings like in the same weekend? But I don't think they have any like rules about that with my entourage or my AMC A-list membership.
Yeah.
So yeah, I still need to.
And mine was booked through Atom Tickets, so I couldn't even get into the AMC one when I was trying that night to get tickets. So I ended up getting them through Atom Tickets. So we'll see.
Gotcha. Well, yeah, I did see West Side Story. I guess I'm the only one. I'm kind of shocked. It did not do well at the box office this weekend, as you guys, I'm sure, have heard.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess when it comes to the box office, like, I think it's a bummer. I'm not totally shocked by the box office. I don't know about you, but I think it still goes back to that thing we've talked about many times, where younger audiences are going back to movie theaters, but I don't think older audiences are yet. And West Side Story, a movie like this, I think definitely speaks to an older crowd. Not so much a Generation Z crowd.
No, I agree with you 100%. I mean, I want to see the movie, but I mean, I've also watched the original play. I've watched the play in the theater. I'm very familiar with all the songs and the music and the story and stuff like that, but I'm not necessarily, I guess maybe I am their target audience, getting above 40 into the theaters to watch a movie like this, but I still feel like that's a very old-fashioned traditional type of film.
Right.
I mean, it's based on the 50 Cent, and it, like looking at Box Office Mojo, they literally describe it as like and maybe this is on IMDb as well, an adaptation of the 57 musical. So it's like, I mean, none of the people that are alive right now, or like, the kids these days aren't looking for that. You know what I mean? Kids these days.
Yeah, kids these days. I mean, I think with musicals, it's not like, I don't think necessarily like a younger audience isn't interested in musicals, but maybe more something along the lines like a Greatest Showman in the feel of something like that, not maybe something like this.
Well, it's hit or miss. I didn't mean to interrupt, but it's really hit or miss. Like, it's dodgy when it comes to musicals being successful. I mean, even still today, when it like a musical that's super popular, like Hamlet, like, I mean, they didn't do a wide release for that. They still just put it on. What's that?
Hamilton.
Excuse me, Hamilton. Thank you. Do a wide release for that. They just put it on Disney Plus, and they were going to do the other one that he did in the theaters, but the pandemic hit and stuff like that in the Heights. But it's such hit or miss when it comes to musicals these days actually being successful. Like, it has to be some type of spectacular show. Like, I think they're doing the Book of Mormon, and I think they're doing Wicked, and they'll really. I'm pretty positive, 100% positive that they're doing Wicked actually. So I think that will succeed. That will succeed. But anything else, it's just like it's really, really a toss up.
Yeah.
But I don't have a lot to say about West Side Story. I will say, for those who don't know, I have mentioned this before. I've actually never seen the original film West Side Story. I was familiar with the music, and that's not just like hearing it here and there. I mean, I would say I knew just about every song, not all of them, but just about every song fairly well. I just, for whatever reason, never got around to seeing that original film. But I was excited about this. I mean, hey, I'm a Spielberg fan. I am a fan of musicals. So this felt like a good opportunity to finally see West Side Story. I, could have watched the original before. I was like, no, I'll give this a shot without having seen the other. I'm definitely interested in watching the other at this point. And I probably will sometime soon. But I really enjoyed West Side Story. I wouldn't say I'm over the moon about it. I've seen reviews kind of mostly, I feel like, along the same line as me, where very happy with the film and thought it was very good. But I have seen some people saying it's the best movie they've seen all year. And I mean, I'm fully admitting I still have a lot left to see that came out this year, but I don't know that I would say it's the best movie I've seen this year. I think it's very good. I don't think it quite knocks it out of the park, but it was an enjoyable watch, and I highly recommend it. I mean, see it in the theater if you guys get a chance. I really enjoyed it. The performances are fantastic. I mean, I don't know the actress's name that plays Maria, but this is basically her first film.
Yeah, really?
She's
picked off the street.
In it. Yeah.
Stop it. Seriously?
Yeah, they had an audition. Yeah, open audition, and Spielberg, I think they said, liked her and picked her up.
And I think she was like
Rachel's something.
It's Rachel's something. Yeah, but she's incredible. Like, she's an amazing singer. She's great in the movie. Everybody's really good in it. It's quite good. So I recommend it.
I will. Definitely be watching it.
Yeah, I'll probably end up watching, but I didn't think that it would be bad with Spielberg really directing something like that, because this really feels like a passion project for him. Like, hey, I don't know, it'd be fun. Let me do West Side Story. I feel like that's something that he watched when he was a kid, and just thought it was beautiful and thought the story and the retelling of basically, you know, Romeo and Juliet type of thing is like, this is great. I'm going to make this. Who's going to stop me? Nobody at this point. You know, it's just, they just don't.
Yeah. And as you can kind of expect with a Spielberg film, I mean, the movie just looks incredibly good.
Like gorgeous.
It's shot on film. It has just that beautiful film look about it. It looks great. Like, you can tell that from the trailer. I mean, that's also the trailer for West Side Story. You know, I talked about this recently after we saw whatever the last movie we saw in the movie theater was, you know, and that trailer played in front of it. And I'm like, that's one of those trailers, man. I could watch that trailer over and over again. It's just so well cut. But yeah, the movie just
first trailer?
What trailer?
I guess. I don't know. The first full-length trailer.
For West Side Story?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I really like that trailer a lot. And I think it was that same showing they had shown also before that, like the first trailer that we got for Matrix. And yeah, we've got a newer one now, but that first Matrix trailer is quite a good, I think, edit as well.
No, that's pretty awesome.
That's a good one.
It's pretty awesome. You know what? Even the ones that they've done afterwards, I really have enjoyed as well. I don't know if you've continued with them, but I'm probably done watching them. But they had the first and the second one, and the second one I think was like 3 minutes, and I was just like, wow, this is pretty dope.
Yeah.
Didn't watch that second one because I just felt like after the first one I was done, so I didn't watch that second one.
We're almost there.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a couple of weeks away or a week away.
Are you going to watch it at home, or are you going to go to a theater to see it?
I mean,
probably
that's sort of part of that problem of everything kind of piling up. It's easier to watch at home than it is to get to the theater, but I'm 99% sure I'll go see it in the theater.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm with Bobby. Like I'm gonna try really hard to go see it in the theater. If it doesn't happen, it just starts to get to be too much of a hassle. Then I'll turn my speakers up really loud on my TV and just enjoy the shit out of them, watching it in the comfort of my own home.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's that part of me that likes that kind of safety net of being able to watch it at home if I have to. Like I'm going to see it. But yeah, I definitely plan on watching it in a movie theater if at all possible. But yeah, for some reason the schedule is just not going to allow it. I'll probably end up watching it at home. I mean, we'll see. I don't even know.
But I love the fact that there are diehards out there like the 384 of us that were like, okay, I can watch it at home, but I'm going to go watch it in the theater.
Right.
That's my objective.
Yeah. That's definitely my plan. We'll see if that happens. But yeah, that's the movie I saw this week. What about you guys? You guys been watching anything? Or?
Yeah, I had a chance to watch at least one movie this weekend on Netflix, a streaming movie. It's called The Unforgivable with Sandra Bullock. It's actually a few different people in there. You got Viola Davis and Vincent D'Onofrio, John Bernthal. So it's a pretty good cast of people. And the premise of it is that Sandra Bullock is playing this character that had to go to prison for committing a pretty bad crime, and it starts with her getting out of prison and trying to reacclimate to life. And there's a situation that within that incident that happened that had made her go to prison. They flash back to it, and you kind of get bits and pieces of everything that happened there and how that plays into her current life. And it's more of a slow burn drama, but it's not that it wasn't too slow to me. It was like you could see how they were trying to tell this story, and within that I would say there's probably maybe a good chunk they could have cut out to condense it a little bit. But overall I really did like where they were going with the story. I was able to really kind of get invested in the characters that were being shown and the pieces of her life that was basically flashing back to her prior to the events and going on. And she does put in a pretty strong performance in this movie, and she seems pretty intimidating in the way that the character is supposed to be after being in prison for a lot of years. And it's just in a different way than I've seen Sandra Bullock in other movies before. So this is definitely a different look for her in this role, and I thought she did a pretty good job there. And just even overall, the other surrounding supporting cast were strong as well. So it's a movie where don't go in expecting it to be this fast paced kind of thing. It's more of a drama, and it's taking its time. And along those lines, I think that it's still something of a mystery that's there that kind of keeps you connected to the movie throughout. But I did enjoy it, so I would suggest it to other people if you want to check it out on Netflix.
And the name of that again was
The Unforgivable.
okay.
That's cool. It does look good. I like Sandra Bullock too, so I mean, I'll probably get around to watching it sooner or later. But yeah, no, I dig that, Bobby. Thanks.
Yeah.
You guys watch anything else? Jascha, you watch anything this week?
I'm trucking through the second season of The Great.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I really enjoy the characters. But that being said, I don't know if it's missing something that the first season had. I think the first season had like a little bit more excitement going on, and like you didn't really know where it was going, and you really were found yourself rooting for Catherine. And this one, she's kind of coming off pretty fucking horrible, and like the maybe the transfer of power, I guess you can say, to her character is really taking its toll on her. But I'm enjoying it, and like I said, I think Nicholas Hoult is just a fantastic actor. She's fantastic as well. So I am enjoying the show. It's just I'm not getting through it quite as quickly as I thought I would, but I enjoy it. I did finish The Sex Lives of College Girls, and that got renewed with the news shared by Bobby for a second season. Show is absolutely laugh out loud fantastic. If you don't watch it, I would highly, strongly recommend watching it, because it is very well written and very funny. You get very attached to these characters and start rooting for them pretty quickly. And I'm all in. I can't wait for the second season. Like, I just can't wait. It's so good. It's such a damn good show. If you're not watching it, David, I strongly recommend you and Michelle watch it. Like, I think this is right up her alley, especially, and she would really enjoy this show.
All right. I'll give that a shot.
The title, Bobby, you've watched it. You finished it, didn't you?
No. We talked about it. I never had a chance to watch it yet. So
okay.
We just talked about it.
Yeah, you can fly through the episodes. The first episode, I think, is 45 minutes or 40 minutes. And then every episode after that is subsequently about 25 to 30 minutes, which is a horrible thing. And then, you have the trailer, the credits at the end. So it's almost like a Marvel television series where it's like, you can just get through it very quickly. And then the rest is just rolling credits. It's an easy watch, and you will be very bought into the characters, and it's really good. I just thoroughly enjoyed it. It's fantastic.
Very cool. Well, what's been going on, like, news-wise? Anything that, I mean, we got a trailer drop today. We had the Fantastic Beasts. What, the secrets of? Is it the secrets of Dumbledore? Or the secret of Dumbledore?
The secrets.
Secrets.
I think it's the secrets.
I watched the trailer right before we started recording because I didn't get a chance to watch it during my work day. But I'm still kind of like, yeah, okay. I'll see if I enjoy it or not. I don't know. Like, the Fantastic Beasts movies, I mean, I've said before, I don't know if I'd go as far as to say I've checked out completely, but I'm gonna see this. I'm a Harry Potter fan, but
It's lacking something.
It's lacking something for me. I'm saying that as someone who has a dark mark tattoo on his forearm. I am a Harry Potter fan. Like,
yeah, you're all in. Like, you're all in.
Something about these movies that I don't know. It's not doing it for me. So I will say, I we don't see a lot of Mads as Grindelwald in this, but I have definitely no problem with that recasting. Like, there's something that tells me I'll watch this and go, yeah, I wish he had been in this part the entire time. Nothing against Johnny Depp. you know, but I just have a feeling I'll probably like his portrayal better. It could be wrong, but we'll see.
We'll see. I messaged you guys that too earlier. I was just like, I like Mads a lot. Like, I think he's really, really good. But we've seen his villain. Like, we've seen him as a villain before. Mm-hmm. And I would have liked to see how Johnny Depp continued with the role of being this big bad guy, like this horrible, horrible, person and human magician or wizard, excuse me, I should say. I would have really enjoyed watching the rest of that, or his interpretation and that presence of that character. Because I think he's a really good actor. I mean, we've seen him do villainous roles before, but nothing quite as bad as, I guess, over the top as that this is supposed to be. But we've seen that from Mads. If you've watched, the Doctor Strange movie, or if you've seen when he did the television show with Silence of the Lambs, or the Hannibal Lecter show. He did that, and it's just like so we've seen him do evil, and we know that he can do evil, and he's pretty remarkable when he does evil, because you look at it as like, yeah, you are a horrible, horrible human being. It'd be like watching Javier Bardem be a bad guy again. It's like, we've seen him do this. We know that he can do this. He owns the hell out of these roles when he does a bad guy. But it's like, I would have been really interested to see, because it was such a huge surprise or reveal, at least for me, when I watched the first one and Johnny Depp showed up. I was like, this is cool. I mean, but I would have loved to see who was the character that he was before that? Colin Farrell. I would have loved to see Colin Farrell continue with being the bad guy. And I thought that would have been cool too, because we don't ever get a chance to see that. That's all I have to say about that.
No, I mean, I get where you're coming from, but I don't know. Right now, I just, the gut feeling, I think I'll like his portrayal better, but we'll see.
That's fair.
Did you watch the trailer, Bobby, or any cares about it, or?
I did watch it. It looks good enough for me to be interested in it. I didn't. I wasn't blown away by the trailer, but it looks visually like something that would be fun to see. I think with me, I'm very different than the most of the crowd and how they feel about these Fantastic Beasts movies. Most people seem to really enjoy the first one and thought the second one was pretty terrible. And I'm actually more flipped. I didn't care for the first one much at all, but I seem to have liked the second one. So I'm interested in this one in so much of the fact that I guess that, or at least by that trailer, it seems as though they're relegating the Newt character a little bit. He didn't seem like he was as prominent, not at least in this trailer. It didn't seem like it. And there was more of the Dumbledore stuff. I mean, its name's in the title, so it seems like it's going to be a lot more of him in there and Jude Law. And I'm okay with that. I almost think that would have just been a better series in the first place if there was just this young Dumbledore series kind of movie,
right?
Instead of this other character. But obviously he's in there. But those to me were the weakest parts of the first and second movie, and he was heavily in the first one, so maybe that's why I didn't care for the first one that much. And then the second one, they started to get more into the Dumbledore and to the Grindelwald, and maybe that's kind of why I like that one a little bit more. So we'll see how this one goes. I don't have any expectations for it, and so maybe that's a good thing. So it could easily surprise in that way. But yeah, I don't find myself. I can't even tell you when it's coming out. So that shows you where, at least in terms of how much I'm anticipating it is. But I will watch it when it comes out in the way that I think that I have a curiosity towards them, and because they're in this Harry Potter world, that I do want to see more of the story of some of these things that happened prior to Harry Potter and all that. So yeah, I mean, I think that it's not doing anything for me in terms of getting me amped up and super excited for it, but I'm looking forward to at least returning to that world a little bit more, and hoping that this one is sort of the proverbial third time's the charm thing. So I guess we'll just end up having to see how it goes once it comes out.
I'm with you though. Like with the direction they seem to have gone or are going in with these movies, it seems like why didn't you not just do like a prequel series? Like I don't know what you would title it because it's basically a Dumbledore Grindelwald prequel
Yeah.
series at this point. But it feels like, well, because we're calling these Fantastic Beasts, we have this character, and that part is starting to at least seem forced to me.
I was just about to use that word too.
Like
Absolutely.
it seems like maybe we had a good idea to do something completely different in this universe, but now it's just turned into a hey, let's attach this to everything we all know and love, which is the Harry Potter books and the films, and basically just make it a prequel to that. Which it goes back to because I'm with you, Bobby. Like I love this universe. Again, I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. I love seeing stuff in this universe. It kind of pains me to say I haven't really been enjoying these movies, but I'm also just usually not a big prequel fan. Like I would have preferred to just continue with stories post what we saw in the Harry Potter films and in the books. But this is where we are. I'm not saying I'm like just trying to hate all over it, but I'm very skeptical if I'm going to enjoy it based on what I've seen in those first two movies.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see because I don't even recall at this point, but I remember when the first movie came out, and it either was right around the first movie coming out or the second movie, but I could have sworn they had this big grand scheme of like 8 movies or whatever. It was a lot of movies I remember hearing about that they planned to do. And so I'm curious where they're at with that today, and if they're still planning on doing all these different movies, and if so, what does that roadmap look like? Are they maybe going to get to a point where they just phase out that Newt character, and then it just really is more or less just what we get with Grindelwald and Dumbledore, or is it still he is along for the ride with all these different things? And it's like you said, in some ways they should have just gone forward instead of backwards, but I think that they initially thought maybe it was going to be bigger than it was, and then they had to start to kind of make adjustments and tweak it to give people something more familiar that they can latch onto. And for me, I would say the one thing that I think for me that's lacking in these movies, that maybe some people got out of the first movie that I didn't necessarily get, is when you go into this Harry Potter world, you're really kind of placed in the kid's perspective, and so there's a sense of wonder and awe and stuff that's with those movies and them discovering the magic and everything that you don't kind of get with these. It's like, yeah, you're in that world, but some of that quote unquote magic is missing in that way. Not to be punny about it,
but yeah, I totally agree. Definitely.
Yeah. So maybe there's some way they can recapture that if they, possibly can, but it definitely seems like it's a hard task.
Well, by the way, you were wondering, it comes out in April. I think it's dated for April 15th.
Okay. Not too far away. First quarter.
No, actually, when we got the announcement that the trailer was coming today, I my first reaction was like, wait, I thought that was like a year away. For some reason, I thought it was like November of 2022.
I thought the same thing.
Yeah. So I looked it up. I was like, oh, April. Okay. Well, I guess that makes sense why we'd get a trailer right now.
Yeah, totally. So the one thing that I'm curious about now at this point is with Spider-Man coming here soon, and we got, like you said, The Matrix coming out next week. What's going to be that movie that people are going to start to amp up and get ready for next? Because as we're talking about Spider-Man coming out, there's starting to be a little bit of worry with the latest variant, that more reports are starting to come up, and so it's like, will they start to do things at the theaters to where they have to limit seating again, or what's going to happen? And is there a movie that if they start to scale back any of that stuff, that will bring people to the theater to want to see it. Because this one seems like, at least with Spider-Man, um, I've heard people who haven't been back to the movies since they shut down are going to come back to the movies to see Spider-Man. So that's quite a feat. And I think that I can't picture anything that's on the horizon that's going to be able to continue that flow. Like they're going to have to ride this wave as long as they can, because I can't think of another big movie, because right now it just seems like it's comic book movies and tentpole movies that are the ones that are driving the people to the theaters. So I don't know what that next big movie is that's going to be able to keep the theaters afloat in that time frame before we hit like a summer release movie season, and all of them start to come again. But
Right.
I can't think of anything.
Well, when's Top Gun come out?
I think that comes out like around
Because it was supposed to
Thanksgiving
be
the next
Christmas.
year or something like
It
that.
was Christmas.
Is that how far away they pushed it?
I think it is. I think it is. I'm hoping it's not. I do truly hope it's not. But I could have sworn they almost pushed it another full year after that.
2022.
May of 2022.
May, okay.
Yeah, so that's
Woo!
that's not bad. That's our first summer movie then.
Yeah.
It seems like. Because I don't think we're getting any other Marvel movies. I think they pushed all of those like a year, didn't they? Or like way out there. Like it was supposed to be Doctor Strange or something like that, right?
Well, we do technically have one Marvel movie that's not MCU, but it is a Marvel movie, which is the Morbius. I think that
Morbius.
comes out in January, maybe February at latest. But yeah, I don't think that's going to be one that's, it's not a proven character. People don't know that character like they knew Venom to show out that first weekend. I mean, maybe they'll get good word of mouth or good reviews ahead of time and people go check it out. But it's definitely not the one that's, I think, going to be a huge, big blockbuster on the weekend that it opens.
Yeah.
So
this is supposed to come out January 28th, Morbius. And honestly, like, I think, like, after you just said that, it was like, it feels like they should have tried to introduce or done a soft introduction of this character in a Spider-Man movie, and then maybe tried to have his own little franchise to see if there's any interest. But I don't know. I think you're right. Like, I mean, I'm excited to see it because I like this stuff and I like Jared Leto, and I think it could potentially be a really fun movie. But at the same time, nobody else knows. Like, I have people that do like comic books that are reaching out to me. It's like, so this Morbius character, tell me about him.
Right. Yeah. It's definitely not the one that people are most aware of when it comes to Spider-Man villains or people that are associated with Spider-Man. So I think maybe by that time, who knows what we're get in this No Way Home. Maybe he does pop up in there somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Or, it's hard to say, but I think that anything's possible. And so if you can build some sort of level of interest right now for that character, then maybe you get a good pop when it comes out towards the end of January, because that's enough time between now and then for Spider-Man to have had sort of breathing room and
build some excitement too.
So yeah, I think that's the only thing that I can really think of. I don't think there's an MCU proper movie.
But like you mean like soon after like the new year kind of?
Yeah, soon after the new year. Yeah.
I mean, because the first thing, we have the Batman, but that's in March. You're kind of thinking sooner than that.
Is it though? Because I mean, they could postpone that again. They postpone it.
Good. I mean,
they keep postponing it over and over and over again. It's just frustrating at this point.
Yeah.
I guess we'll find out based on like what you just talked about, Bobby, with variants, and we don't know. All I can say is I have now had a booster shot, so I'm not saying I'm just feeling comfortable and doing whatever I want, but I feel better about things.
Yeah.
But like before pre-March, I'm with you. That would be like the first thing that comes to mind. That would be like exciting for the kind of movies that we're kind of talking about. I mean, you got movies like Black Adam. I think that's due like in July.
Yeah.
And Thor, I think is due in July as well. Pretty sure.
Is that the next MCU movie?
That
I
might
think
be.
so, yeah.
That might be the next MCU film. Because I
Yeah,
can't think of one that would be before July.
Me either.
Or no, I think Doctor Strange is actually before July. I think
It's supposed to be. Yeah, it was supposed to be. I think they pushed it, though. I thought they pushed it.
According to IMDb, anyway, it's dated for May 6th.
Oh. Huh. I didn't have that in my head as the next MCU movie.
Well, the internet says it too. Sorry.
No, that's cool. It's just that's actually good because for some reason I had this image in my head that this was like
out.
2 other movies out, as opposed to being the next one up, which is perfect because then that means that there's could be direct tie-ins from this Spider-Man movie to Doctor Strange Multiverse Madness because it's the next one up. So that's awesome.
May 6th, then Thor, and this one is definitely, I guess, a question mark depending on how things play out. Black Panther Wakanda Forever is November.
Yeah, which is just not in production hell right now.
Yeah.
So
I did there's a movie I started watching, so I can't really talk too much about it, honestly. But it's on Netflix, another Netflix movie called The Power of the Dog. Have you guys heard of this one?
I've heard of it, but I haven't seen
it. I have too.
Yeah, it's with Benedict Cumberbatch. It's a Western kind of movie, and it's hard to describe anything about it. Just within I have seen maybe about 20 minutes of it, and I can't really tell you much of what's happening there, other than Benedict Cumberbatch's character is kind of a prick. I mean, he's like really kind of mean. But and Jesse Plemons is in it, and Kirsten Dunst and Cody Smith McPhee. But I don't know. It looks good visually, at least from what I've seen. But it's always one of those types of movies when it's a Western and how they're able to get those nice wide vista shots, and it always kind of looks very beautiful seeing those kind of scenes. But I can't really say much as far as what the story is. All I've heard is that it's really slow from multiple sources, but that's okay. At least I knew that when I started it, so I'll see how it goes. I'm into it so far, as just in terms of not wanting to turn it off because it's so boring. I just don't. There's just nothing going on yet with the plot to be able to even say what's going on yet. But I'll probably be able to report back of what I thought of it next week once we're all together again.
You guys want a slow movie? A slow Western? Have you seen, and I stand by this and tell you that it's a fantastic film and it's absolutely one of the most beautiful Westerns that I've ever watched. And I'm talking about The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford, with one of the longest mouthful of top titles ever. The movie is fantastic, but it is so slow, but it's gorgeous. It's absolutely stunning. Almost every single shot could be a poster. It's just beautiful.
I saw that.
That's the one you had David watch.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think you had it. I couldn't remember who it was that assigned that to me for the You Haven't Seen What.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
We used to do.
Yeah. What did you think?
I mean, now it's been a little while since I watched it, but I enjoyed it. But I couldn't really give you like an in-depth review right now. I don't think that's what I know. That's not what you're asking, but yeah, no. I mean, I remember enjoying it.
Yeah, like I enjoyed it. It's just slow as hell.
Yeah. Not to they kind of. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, to kind of change the subject, I was curious. Did either of you guys watch any episodes of Cowboy Bebop on Netflix?
Oh no. But to be fair, I don't think I was planning on watching anytime soon. I really didn't think I'd get around to it because I'm just so backed up on whether it's movies or TV shows that I really have on my list of things to watch, and shows that I'm in the middle of watching that I'm behind on that are current that I would need to catch up on. So yeah, I never had an intention to watch it anytime soon. And especially because I didn't have any familiarity with the anime series. I know of it. I knew of it and heard of it from before, but I never seen the original series before, so that didn't help the case for me to go watch it anymore either, because I didn't have that same sort of level of I guess the feeling to want to watch it based on having seen the animated series. So I didn't think I'd get to it anytime soon, but they also didn't think it'd be canceled after one season either.
No, I don't think. I mean, the way Netflix was pushing it before the show came out, you could tell it felt like a hope that this was going to be a big deal.
Yeah, they believed in it. They believed in it big time.
I have seen the anime and I'm familiar with it, and I will say, like, I mean, a while back. It's been a while since I'd watched it, but seeing like the trailers and everything for this, it didn't pique my interest. I don't know. Like, there's something about the look of it, this translation to live action, that something about it just wasn't feeling right to me. Like, maybe it's the kind of anime, the kind of show, the show had a certain style that I'm like, I think this works as animation and not so much as live action. Like, it starts to, I think, look kind of silly. And I'm saying this, I have not watched the show. I can't speak to that. I'm only speaking to like what I saw from, promotional marketing material. But it just, I don't know, it just didn't appeal to me. And I guess it didn't appeal to a lot of people because, as you just mentioned, the reason I bring it up, it got canceled after one season. So.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of interested in watching it, but I wasn't rushing out to do so just because I have other stuff that I'm kind of trying to watch. So it really didn't really, and I didn't know anything about it. So I was just like, and I honestly was going to support it because of the actor who was in it. I like him. John Cho. Yeah. I like him, and I wish that he, I wish him all the success in the world, and I hope that he continues to, get gigs and stuff like that, because but it's like that, maybe that just wasn't it, but I enjoy his sense of humor and his work. So
yes, same here. I will say, as we're talking about things that's been translated, something I saw the other last week that looked really good, and that was the trailer. It was really short. There was a trailer for Halo TV series that's coming out on Paramount Plus. They showed like maybe it was like a minute, and I just thought that visually they're not skimping out on the budget for it. At least it didn't appear to be, based on what they show in that little minute trailer. And the Master Chief suit looks awesome. Some of the Spartans that are on the same side as Master Chief, their suits look good. The ships, the transport vehicles look like they do in the games. I just was like, wow. I definitely will be checking that out day one when that comes out, because I've been a Halo fan since the game first came out on the Xbox, and I haven't played all of them, but I remember how much I enjoyed that first game, and just being able to see something like that being realized in live action and looking very good in terms of that translation just makes me want to really check it out even more. And the actor that's playing Master Chief, I don't know how much they'll show him without his helmet on in the show, because typically in the game he doesn't remove his helmet, so you never really see who's under there. But in the show, the actor Pablo Schreiber, he's a good actor, and so
fantastic.
I wouldn't mind if they do have him without it, and to be able to see him acting, because he's really good. But it's going to be really cool to get to see that once it comes out early next year, I think it is. So been looking forward to that one for a while. When it was first announced, well, it's had a long announcement series, because initially it was supposed to have been done years ago, and they had wanted Peter Jackson to direct it, but then I think Peter didn't want to do it necessarily, so he tried to get the director who did I think is Blomkamp.
Neil Blomkamp.
Yeah, Neil Blomkamp
Yeah,
to do it, and the
I remember
studio
that
didn't
now.
want that because he wasn't a big name at the time. So
Right.
yeah, and it went through development hell after that, and finally got picked up again, and it was going to be on Showtime, but then that didn't happen, and then it moved to Paramount Plus. So yeah, hopefully it has a rocky start because of all that stuff, but once we get to see it, that it actually turns out a good product.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not familiar with Halo. I've
Mhm.
actually been meaning to play the new Halo since, I mean, this is my first Xbox, the Series X, but I haven't even had a chance to launch into that yet. But it interests me. You're right. The trailer looks good. I mean, saying that as someone who's not familiar with the source material, but it looks good.
Yeah.
Anything else before we wrap things up? I mean, you guys don't want to talk about the Golden Globe nominations?
I was expecting you to bring it up, but
No,
I
I
don't
wasn't planning
honestly
on.
know.
I
Because I know
haven't
you
even
and
looked at the
Michelle.
nominations.
I haven't looked at it either.
You and Michelle had sort of talked a little bit about it this morning in our thread, but I hadn't paid too much attention other than I heard someone say that, well, I saw an article that said that Snoop Dogg was one of the people who were announcing the nominees. And
really?
yeah, exactly. And, apparently he had some trouble with Denis Villeneuve. So
You don't say.
I don't know. I haven't seen the clip yet, but apparently it was funny. So I need to check that out. But
Yeah, now I kind of want to watch that.
yeah. So that might be the highlight of the nominations. But I think I briefly heard some of what it was nominated, and I don't know. It's like it's kind of one of those things where if it's not being televised, and I don't know that it's going to be something where they actually have an event where
I don't know. They
celebrities and
haven't.
people are showing up, then it's kind of like that old saying, what is it? If a tree is something in the woods and
Falls in the woods and no one's there
yeah,
to hear it.
yeah,
Doesn't make a sound.
yeah. So it kind of feels like that with this
Yeah,
year's Golden Globes.
it's tough. I mean, if there's anybody watching it, kind of, I mean, a little bit backstory if you're not aware. I mean, yeah, it's basically there's been a kind of a Hollywood boycott of the Golden Globes because of some investigation that was done into the fact that they had no black journalists, and there was like 78 members, which isn't a huge amount of people. We've always known how many. It's not a huge voting body for the Hollywood Foreign Press. Well, I think Tom Cruise even returned his Golden Globes to like the main offices in LA. So NBC decided they're not going to carry the 2022 Golden Globes.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, it's not being broadcast. It's like, I don't think they've announced yet, like how, like you just said, Bobby, I don't think they've announced like how they're going to present these awards that they just, shared the nominations for. I don't know how that's going to work. I don't think anybody really cares. I will say personally, it's funny because I've joked about the Golden Globes quite a bit. I think the awards themselves are kind of ridiculous. Some of the stuff that wins Golden Globes, it's just like, I find to be kind of laughable. The funny thing about that is I think the actual broadcast, the actual show, at least more recently, I find to be more entertaining than the Oscars. The atmosphere of all these celebrities, eating and drinking together in this room, and it just feels more relaxed and more fun to watch than the Oscars have been. And I'm saying that as someone who likes to watch the Oscars, but so in that sense, I'm kind of bummed that we're not going to get to see the Golden Globes, but at the same time, I also don't kind of care about them. It's weird. So
yeah,
but yeah,
it'll just be
that's what's going
interesting.
on.
I think what makes that interesting is that a lot of times that ends up being somewhat of a precursor to the Oscars, and I don't know how much the Oscar body watches the Golden Globes and says, okay, let's also say that these are the movies we're kind of going to pull together as the ones that are in contention for the big awards. But either way, if that's not really something people are paying attention to this year, where does that kind of leave everything else? It is like that means that we raised the importance of something like the Critics' Choice Awards this year in comparison to previous years, where not that it wasn't looked at as something prestigious, but does it give it a little bit more of a oomph this year because of that? So it'll be interesting to see how that goes too, just because it's never been one that's been a big award that's been shown and presented, although I do think this one is being broadcast. I think they usually do, but I don't think a lot of people pay attention to that one. So this might supplant the Golden Globes as the one to watch.
I mean, I know they've been broadcasting at least the past few years, the SAG Awards. And I forget when that is. I feel like it's before the Oscars, but
I think so.
Is it after? I don't even remember. I mean, obviously it's just an acting award show, but still, given the fact that that's already had kind of an audience, I think they usually broadcast it on TNT. I could see that being something that maybe could get some more excitement around it, since there wasn't another award show like the Golden Globes to kind of fill that gap.
Yeah.
Well, unless you guys have anything else, I guess we'll wrap things up.
No, other than the fact that I think we kind of mentioned it a couple different times, but tonight is the world premiere for Spider-Man No Way Home.
I meant to ask that earlier. I couldn't remember if it was when it was in the the UK? Is it tonight?
I think so. I think it's in London. I think is where the premiere is happening. But not just that. That's where the world premiere is, but in other locations in other cities, and I'm thinking specifically here in LA area, that they have the press are seeing press screenings tonight as well. And so I heard that the social media embargo lifts at 10:30 p.m. Pacific time tonight. So I do believe I will start my blackout of social media as of tonight. So I won't be going back on to see anything until Thursday. I don't even want to hear about the world premiere, because a lot of times actors that are in the movie that you didn't know are on the red carpet. Yeah, and you're like, hey, I didn't know, because that actually
what are you doing there?
Yeah, that just happened with Shang-Chi and with Ben Kingsley being on the red carpet. No one knew he was in the movie, but then you see him on the red carpet and you're like, I wonder what that means. So I definitely won't be catching any of the coverage either of the red carpet. So media blackout as of tonight.
All right. Well, we'll talk to you next weekend.
Yeah. Well, that's fine. I just won't be surfing through Twitter or Instagram or any of the other, things like that.
No, that's good to know. Didn't really think about that. I knew it was being released in some countries, I thought, before us. So there was that to deal with as well. But knowing that press are seeing it tonight and the world premieres tonight, information will start to find its way out there for sure. So
100%.
So tread carefully on social media if you're wanting to be as spoiler free as we are. So obviously next weekend we do a show. We'll just be talking about Spider-Man No Way Home. That's basically the ball game for next weekend. So we'll see everybody then. As always, we'd love to hear back from everyone listening and watching. You can email us at feedback@flickereffect.com. No matter where you're watching us, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, make sure to leave any questions or comments down below. Make sure to like and subscribe if you're watching over on YouTube. Hit that bell icon to be notified whenever we post any videos or go live in the future. And we are on Instagram and Twitter as well, by the way, at Flicker_effect. With that, I'm David Lott.
I'm Bobby Jackson.
And I'm Jascha Wilson.
Thanks for listening and watching.